doubt. Last time out, 5-inning gem against Nebraska. Didn't allow a run, struck out 7 on the road. You got to love that earlier this month, and let's see if we can keep it up here, coming back here home at Baton Field.
As his first pitch misses inside to Bobby Whalen, and we are underway with Cape-type temperatures in the high 70s. As the fastball fouled straight back here from Whalen. 1 ball and 1 strike. We'll give you the defense momentarily for the Scarlet Knights. Rutgers making 3 spectacular defensive plays yesterday. And those don't jump off the box score, but certainly when you have a look at them, they contributed mightily to the Scarlet Knights picking up their 13th straight win, which now leads the nation in terms of consecutive wins at this point, with Miami losing earlier in the week to Virginia Tech. And the check swing misses high. 3 balls and a strike here to Bobby Whalen. Leading off game 2 of this series, IU is 2-5 of the Big Ten. And you see the numbers on Whalen. He has asserted himself to be one of the top 3 out of a 5 outfielder rotation for Jeff Mercer. Called strike inner part of the plate here from Florence. 3-2. IU got a great game on the mound yesterday to hang in as well against the Big Ten's #1 offense as the 3-2 pitch is low, ball 4, and Whalen has a leadoff walk.
It seemed like Florence wanted to try to get Whalen to chase a little bit. You saw that second strike get caught on the inside corner, but down low right there, Whalen did a good job of holding off, and he draws the leadoff walk for the Hoosiers.
Shortstop, #1, Philip Glasser.
For Florence, he last pitched Saturday at Nebraska, was the winning pitcher in a 5-4 Rutgers win, 5 innings, 7 strikeouts last Saturday on the road, just 1 walk. As Philip Glasser here, the shortstop, with Rutgers looking for 2 up the middle. And that pitch up and away.
It looked like Florence was trying to hit that breaking ball, trying to get it to bend in, down up high, or come in from up high and just catch the top of the zone. But it looks like he just missed quite a bit on that outside corner.
And that's also off the plate. So Florence has fallen behind here, 2-0. Florence last year at Hartford, 4.76 ERA, 51 innings pitched. So statistically, this is lining up to be the best season of his career. And here he paints the outside corner for a strike, 2-1. Rutgers was able to get Nathan late in the process, late July 2021, similar to the catcher in Nick Samillo. And boy, they have both been revelations for Steve Owens and recruiting coordinator and assistant coach Brendan Monahan in the process. Runner from first, Whalen. And it's 3-1 to Glasser.
Hey, you mentioned getting those guys via the transfer portal. I mean, the transfer portal has been something throughout college athletics that's been absolutely bonkers, as some people like to put it. It's like free agency in pro sports, but these 2 guys were basically 2 gems, almost hidden gems, to bring up to a Big Ten roster, and they're key cogs right now this season.
3-1 is low, ball 4, so consecutive walks by Nathan Florence to open up the ball game.
Yeah, he's just not quite finding the zone right here, and he's trying to get these guys to chase a little bit on those breaking balls, but even the fastball right now is just not finding its way down the middle at the moment, trying to catch those outside corners maybe just to see if he can widen the strike zone a little bit. But Florence, let's see if he can settle down now, but obviously in a bit of a pickle with 2 guys on, no outs in the top of the first.
So here is Matt Ellis. Started his career at Tennessee, 2 years at Walter State Junior College, and he has been perhaps the most notable addition in the transfer portal for Jeff Mercer. He leads the Big Ten with 12 home runs, hitting .283, 36 RBI in the catching position as he takes low. And Ellis, the slugging catcher, waits. And it's 2-0. Ellis is a redshirt junior at 6'4", 240 from Waddy, Kentucky. Preseason All Big Ten despite not playing a game. That's how highly regarded he was upon re-entering Division I. Florence on 2-0. Inside 3-0. Ellis in 2019 at Tennessee redshirted there. Then 2020 and 21, both at Walters State Community College. Two on, nobody out for Indiana. And Florence on 3-0 gets a called strike.
Yeah, it's a pitch. Ellis just said, you know what, I'm just going to take this one regardless. Let Florence work up his pitch count right now. If I draw a third straight walk, so be it. But that's a strike you can take right there.
Florence from the stretch. A look back at the runners. And the 3-1 is popped up to third and making the lunging grab, Tony Santamaria. Well, not quite the highlight from yesterday, but Rutgers played spectacular defense yesterday, about 3 highlight-level plays, and there's the first down of the game.
I was going to say, that's pretty routine for Tony Santamaria at this point at third base, and that's a huge first down for the Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, the rest of the defense for Rutgers, Evan Slayton left, Ryan Lasko reigning Big Ten Player of the Week in center, Mike Neister is in right, Santamaria at third, Danny DiGiorgio in short, Josh Kuroda-Grauer at second, Chris Brito at first, with Nick Samillo doing the catching of Nathan Florence. So here's Josh Pine, freshman from Bloomfield, Indiana. That's in southern Indiana as he takes inside for ball one. Real foundation piece in Jeff Mercer's recruiting class. Pine has played every day, hitting .299, 4 home runs, 31 driven in. A shoe-in to be on the Big Ten All-Freshman team. And Florence misses away with the slider. And he missed nearly the entire fall of 21 with injury.
Well, for Indiana, it's good to have him back, the way he's been able to play so far in this lineup. With such little college baseball experience compared to some other guys, batting over 300 this season.
And Florence challenges him with a fastball, fouled straight back, and you could hear that one bang off the plexiglass that we're fortunate to have here at Bainton Field.
Yeah, back in the day, we only had the net protecting us from those foul balls coming straight back.
There were some close calls back in the day. And, of course, this basically makes it feel like a sauna. Like Cosmo Kramer said in Seinfeld, whenever you're in here on nice days. 2-1 in there, a nice changeup that had Pine a bit fooled, 2-2.
Well, I would prefer the sauna over the ice box this used to be without. Well, I shouldn't even call it an ice box. I should just call it an ice wind tunnel.
Yep.
This press box used to be.
2-2 to Pine. Swing and a miss at the changeup. First strikeout for Florence, and there's 2 away.
Definitely something he needed right there. He gets the little pick-me-up from Santamaria on that first out, and now that's what you want to see from Flores. That's the good stuff. Try to get these guys to chase the stuff outside. Get that first strikeout, 2 down now. Still 2 guys on, so you're not out of danger yet, but certainly a better situation for the Scarlet Knights defense here in the top of the first.
That'll bring up junior right fielder Hunter Jesse of South Lebanon, Ohio. Jesse's was a platoon player last year. As a freshman in 2020, he looked like he had the job locked up in right field. But this year, IU has had about 5 different outfielders for the 3 spots plus DH. And Jesse has emerged to perhaps be the most consistent along with Bobby Whalen. Jesse hitting .319, 3 homers, 15 driven in. As the breaking ball from Florence misses 2-0.
Yeah, he's certainly been productive on the offensive end of things. To be right in the middle of the lineup. Again, he hasn't started every single game this season, but as you mentioned, Ralph, he's been more consistent than some other guys they want to put out in the outfield, and he's consistent enough where they say, you know what, we're going to put you in the 5 spot today.
And Florence challenges him with a fastball. It's 2-1. And for the Hoosiers, this is a bit of a rebuild. Even though they're preseason number 6 in the Big Ten, last year they went 26-18, tied for 4th in the league. Again, those were all Big Ten Conference games, so a significant year for Jeff Mercer. But they had 6 players picked in the MLB draft, and this has been a reset. Runners go, pitch inside, and they'll both steal without a throw. So the double steal executed by IU, second and third with 2 down and a 3-1 count.
Yeah, not much you could do about that if you're Nick Samil. Had to scoop that one up, and then really there's no opportunity for the throw. Just great jumps by both guys on base for the Indiana Hoosiers. I mean, he could have been in there standing up. That was basically one of those slides where it was a courtesy slide, as they like to call it.
Florence deals, and a swing and a miss through the fastball by Jesse, 3-2. So the Hoosiers looking to take the lead here early in Piscataway. Florence on 3-2 swing and a miss. He blows a fastball past Jesse. But he had struggled a bit, and this year you saw his numbers. It's been kind of a steady process for Perkins to make it all the way back, but he has a staff best 4.71 ERA. Night start, he's 2-2. 42 innings, 46 strikeouts. And the 1-0 high to Ryan Lasko. Lasko owns an 18-game hitting streak coming into today's action. 327, 7 home runs, 27 driven in. 2-0, there's a good fastball, blew it past him.
You mentioned Perkins coming back from that Tommy John surgery. Sometimes it just takes guys a little bit longer to readjust. Sometimes guys come back stronger. Sometimes they just don't have the same stuff they used to. But, as you mentioned, for Perkins, it's been a slow and steady process. You saw a little bit of what his good stuff was at Louisville last year, and then for Indiana this year. He's got a staff best ERA right now, but again, at 4.71, it's not exactly what you want. But again, it's like a slow and steady climb.
3-2 pitch, breaking ball, caught Lasko looking. 1 gone in the first. Slided 317. Takes ball 1. Evan with 4 home runs, 29 driven in. That's up and away. And here was Evan Slight yesterday, taking the ball the other way for a key base hit.
One of many key hits for the Scarlet Knights yesterday, and you can see the emotion yesterday. Very tight win.
Fouled off there, Slight driving in 2 with that single going the other way. Rutgers also got a pair of home runs from Ryan Lasko and Nick Samillo, both occurring to tie the game at 1-1 and then 2-2. Check swing at the plate. They'll check over at third. He did not go. By the way, home plate umpire Michael Sadowski doing the honors with James Albert at first, Matt Nieder at second, and Jim Shally at third. Be a 3-1 coming to Slight. Missed inside, ball 4.
Very good with runners on.
As Samillo takes a called strike. Nick homering yesterday. He went 2 for 4, along with a walk. Now hitting .419. This was his home run yesterday. This went right down the foul line and ruled the home run. As Samillo fouls this pitch off.
That was an absolute moonshot yesterday. You saw him admiring that one, but a good one to admire for sure, going over the left field wall.
And that .419 leads the Big Ten and is also 4th in the country with 9 home runs and 30 driven in. First-year transfer from Manhattan College here at Rutgers from Suffolk, New York, north in Rockland County, just across the New Jersey border to New York. And on 0-2, the slider misses away from Perkins. Slight from first. And on 1-2, this one getting away from the catcher Ellis, and taking second base is Slight. They will say he did not go on the swing. So that'll be a wild pitch against Perkins.
Good job by Smiller just to hold up just enough, allow Slight to get over to second as well. So now runner in scoring position. Only one out, so still a solid situation right here for the Scarlet Knights.
Two to Samillo. 3-2. Jack Perkins has a wide array of pitches. Four-seam fastball, a two-seamer, changeup, cutter, and curveball. Last summer, touched 95 with it, so his velocity has come back off of Tommy John. That caused him to miss all of 2020. Payoff pitch to Samillo. And a breaking ball swung on and missed. Big strikeout there, and there's 2 outs in the first.
Tremendous.
IU lost at Purdue 17-0 in their rivalry game, although that game was blown out of proportion in the late innings. But he went 6 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, struck out 3, walked 4. And the pitch to Tony Santamaria is taken low, so Jeff Mercer decided ahead of this weekend to switch his Friday night and Saturday starter. And John Biagio Modugno was solid yesterday. Perkins trying to follow it up now in the Saturday slot. Santamaria did not go. It's 1-1. Here's the game summary from yesterday. And key error late by Indiana. And Nick Samillo 2 for 4. Rutgers just found a way to pull that one out and capitalize on mistakes.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't matter how you win. It's just if you get the win or not. And you mentioned before, Ralph, the errors for Indiana, that really just comes back to bite you at some point. And they got to be kicking themselves coming into today.
2 balls and a strike to Tony Santamaria. And Steve Owens talking yesterday how this team truly buys into playing super defense. And I think for Jeff Mercer, a disappointing one at that they had real opportunities to knock off RU yesterday. 2-1 to Santamaria. And the breaking ball missing high. Rutgers turned a rare 3-6-1 double play in the first. Santamaria with a diving catch. IU had a runner thrown out at home by Ryan Lasko in the 8th inning. That would have made it a 4-2 game. And on 3-1, this one grounded to third. Pine gets a big hop, throws across in time for the out, and the inning comes to an end. So a couple of strikeouts for Jack Perkins. And Steve Owens after the game saying that his team values defense. Breaking ball in there for a strike, 1-2. And I think that shows you the maturity of this team, that because defense doesn't jump off the box score at you. Defense doesn't necessarily get you drafted or a lot of attention, but it wins. 1-2 pitch taken low. And it's a Scarlet Knights team, I think, that is realizing that, hey, we're 28-6. Someone one of the best records in the country. Now we're ranked. This team could go deep into May. High with the fastball, 3-2 to Carter Matheson, leading off the second.
Yeah, you mentioned that defense, and usually it's interesting you mentioned the box score in the stat sheet. Everyone looks at what are these guys hitting? Is it average, home runs, RBIs, all that good stuff. They're drawing walks, but the defense, it really just comes up where
a check swing, he went around. Matheson down on strikes. So second strikeout for Florence.
I was about to mention, the only time you look at the defense is looking at the pitcher, just like what Florence did right here. It's all right, another strikeout on the board. That's great for defense, but the only other time you're looking at the stat sheet for defensive stats is how many errors does this guy commit, or what's their fielding percentage? Oh, it's not 1,000. He must not be that good, but. It's great that the Scarlet Knights the entire time this year have been preaching that defense and have been able to just pick it up over recent years, and now that it seems like everything is just coming together, which results in that 28-6 record.
Freshman Brock Tibbetts, New Albany, Ohio. He was the preseason Big Ten Freshman of the Year by perfect game. You saw his numbers. He checks his swing. He did not go on the 0-1, 1-1. And Tibbetts playing first base for the first time in his life due to the presence of Matt Ellis. He's hitting .274, 7 home runs, 28 driven in. And on 1-1, Florence paints the outside corner with the strike 1-2. Dad played baseball at Florida State and Ohio U. And Tibbetts, I think, perhaps underranked as the number 65 catcher nationally. A ball and 2 strikes. Touchdown IU, it's a total reset of the roster. 27 underclassmen for Jeff Mercer. That's 64% of the roster. 8 incoming transfers. They only have 6 seniors, but only 2 of them were at IU last year. This is swung on and fouled off again, 1-2.
It's always tough when you have a big roster turnover like that, and then sometimes, Ralph, when we've already talked about the transfer portal a little bit. These guys come in, right, and it's either instant impact or it's a growing period. And for right now, for Indiana, it seems like it's going to be a growing period for the rest of the season going into the 2023 campaign.
Ground ball left side past the dive of Santa Maria. And the first base hit for the Hoosiers. A 1-out single for Brock Tibbetts.
Yeah, that time Santa Maria was not going to make the highlight reel play right there, but Indiana finally squeezing one through into the outfield. Florence, it looked like he was actually about to start settling down. He was settling in a little bit, but that time just a nice little piece of hitting for Tibbetts. Indiana, once again, another second straight inning with a base runner.
Here's Ethan Facrumba, and very much trying to find his game. A junior left-handed outfielder from Bloomington, Edgewood High School. Facrumba looking for his first hit. This is just his 8th game and first start. He's 0 for 7. He missed 22 games with a wrist injury in the early season. And a swing and a miss. Nice change-up high from Florence, 1-1. So he gets the start against the right-hander today, with second baseman Tyler Doanes waiting on deck. And a swing and a miss, and down on strikes goes Facrumba.
Definitely what Florence needed right there after giving up his first base hit of the afternoon. Set the next guy down, and now you're back in business here in the second inning.
Number 5, Tyler Doanes.
Number 9 batter is Tyler Doanes, a grad transfer from West Virginia, where he was 2-time Big 12 honorable mention. And major credit and help from Indiana assistant coach Derek Simmons. He's a fellow Georgia native. Doanes is from Fayetteville, Georgia. And his transfer portal process lasted just 4 days as he takes a called strike. And he was the leadoff batter for 4 seasons at West Virginia. And he's been batting number 9, so kind of the double leadoff for Jeff Mercer. Doanes takes a called strike fastball out over the plate. 0-2.
That's good spotting right there by Florence right now. Those last 2 pitches already getting ahead 0-2. Down to the final strike of this inning. Trying to shut down the Hoosiers before they even get any sort of momentum going.
Florence on 0-2. And kind of a defensive swing from Doanes.
Yeah, he just got a piece of that one. That was more of a, as you just mentioned before, that was a defective swing. You can call it a defensive swing. He just got a little tied up and just happened to catch a piece of the ball and fouled it off towards the dugout.
Tibbetts would not be considered a stolen base threat. He is 3 for 3. IU, pretty good ratio, 41 out of 50 coming in, and they had a double steal in the first. And the 0-2 fouls straight back. We got a great look at that here as Doanes was right on a high fastball.
Second time an Indiana hitter's been able to get right on top of that ball right there and just foul it straight back. So they're right there when it comes to eyeing up where Florence is going to find this or throw these pitches into the zone.
And Doanes just takes low, and boy, the body language from Nathan Florence, even though he is known as a cool and calm 60-year senior, even showed some emotion there.
You hear the groans from the Rutgers dugout from here.
1-2 coming. The outside corner, strike 3 looking. Home second inning. Danny DiGiorgio for Rutgers to lead it off against Jack Perkins Perkins struck out 2, walked 1 in the first as DiGiorgio faces and chases a first pitch fastball. Jeff Mercer talking about his starter Jack Perkins. Last week his fastball was good against Purdue. Located on both sides of the plate, he's got what's called a deceptive fastball and pitches to a quick tempo, but he gave up 4 runs of his 6. Allowed last week in the first inning, so he's gotten past that today. As he gets DiGiorgio on a check swing, called strike there, a little bit of a changeup, 0-2.
You want to see if Rutgers can get one of these guys lead off on base, whether it be a hit or a walk, just to try to get the offensive juices flowing a little bit. As Perkins was pretty much dealing in that first inning.
This is a 2-hopper to short. Philip Glasser. And he throws out DiGiorgio. And the 40 RBI has him tied with Tony Santamaria for the team lead. Brito chases a fastball. Well, Perkins, as I touched on, he's sat 91 to 94 through last summer. The two-seamer is a little bit more of a sinker, and he thinks his breaking ball is his biggest strength. I haven't seen it much yet here. That's a fastball a little bit in on the hands. But that's what made Perkins someone that was recruited to Louisville, 39th round draft choice in 2018 by Atlanta. So at the time, that was still a 40 round MLB draft, so second from the bottom. And he, of course, chose to go to Louisville instead. And on a loaded Louisville team, started to get some traction. Before the end of the 2019 season, he suffered pain. Line shot, that's knocked down by Doanes. Doanes picks it up, composes himself, and throws out Brito. Nice play from the fifth-year senior.
Yeah, sometimes if you just double clutch like that, you might throw it wild or...
Line shot, and this is past the dive of Doanes into right field, a base hit for Josh Kuroda-Grauer. Callahan getting the opportunity after Jordan Sweeney yesterday took an 0 for 3 with a walk and strikeout as the left-hand hitting DH, so it's Callahan's opportunity today. As Perkins, this is a bit high there. Garrett's a grad transfer from Division III Ithaca. Good league, though, that he played in. 6'2", 220. Had a .363 career batting average at the D3 level. And a swing and a miss there.
Big cut there from Callahan. Tried to send that one to the right field woods.
Franklin High School, native of Franklin Park, New Jersey. He is in a master's program for finance at Rutgers. Kuroda-Grauer, excellent speed at first. We'll see if he gets the green light here with 2 out.
Limited at bats for Callahan this year, only 44, but he's batting .533 with 2 outs this season, so you gotta love those odds when he's up at the plate. And even though you're down to your final out of the inning, Callahan's up, you gotta be careful.
And on 1-1, and he slashes it foul the other way. And he's had his moments. Started 2 games at DH in a series at Nebraska Omaha. 4 hits, and has his only home run there. That came back in mid-March. 1 on with 2 outs for Rutgers. And Callahan grounds it to first, easy handle. Brock Tibbetts, oh no, he bobbled it for a moment. But no adventure there for Tibbetts. Certainly had one yesterday behind the plate in the late innings. And the 2 walks came leading off the game before he settled down. He has struck out a total of 5 batters since. Bobby Whalen, line shot left center field, falling fast, and that'll be out of the reach of Lasko, a base hit. Whalen makes the turn on his way to second, and the throw comes in. It was a good one, and Kuroda-Grauer, I think, not quite perhaps expecting the throw. He was not in position for the tag. And that's a double for Whalen.
I'm not going to say that was a nonchalant play right there from Grau, but I think you mentioned it, Rob. I don't think he expected to be in quite as good a position right there as Whalen. Good turn right here, but that's just a tremendous throw from Lasko. Had the chance to get the tag. I'm going to look at it right there. Looks like he just scooped it up a little bit in front of the bag. Maybe the throw was a little bit late, if you can call it. I mean, if you can call it late, it was still a tremendous throw from Lasko. Another look. He did a good job tracking the ball down. Basically threw a bullet. Grau maybe a little bit out of position, but Whalen again had that good turnaround first base and had plenty of real estate right there to slide in safely to second base.
Philip Glasser walked in the first inning, sends a ball in the inner, pretty deep center field. Lasko going back, turns around. Lasko is at the wall, and he makes the catch. Tagging from second, Whalen will slide into third. A long first out by Philip Glasser, and Indiana a runner at third with one down.
Yeah, this is smart base running right now for Indiana. Of course, you get that double, and then after this long fly ball hung up in the air quite a bit. Lasko's got himself an arm, but from deep center field, you're not going to be able to get that runner out at third. So, again, that's a heads-up play for Whalen to go over from second to third, and now the first run of the day just 90 feet away. And still only one out here in this third inning, so some loud pops to the bat for the Hoosiers, all for Florence right now.
Matt Ellis popped up foul to third base in the first, and a nice changeup from Florence, 0-1. That was a lunging grab made by Santa Maria at third. Ellis takes low. Ellis took an 0 for 3 with a walk yesterday against Rutgers pitching. Jared Kolar started 6 innings of 1-run ball, struck out 5 yesterday, walking 3. Another solid outing from a Rutgers starter on the weekend. And Florence wanted that one as it goes too far off the plate, 2-1.
Smillo tried to frame that one just on the outside corner, but the home plate umpire, Michael Sadowski, was not biting on that.
3-1. A part of, I think, what has made Ellis to be preseason All-Big Ten, his batting eye and his approach over 2 years at Walters State Community College was sensational. It also jumped out at me. They played 65 games last year at Walters State, and Ellis caught the majority of them. He played like a minor league season last year. Up high, that's ball 4 to Ellis. So perhaps an unintentional, intentional pass, and it'll be the freshman Josh Pine.
And noticed Whalen over at third base as well. Wasn't going to steal home, but he made quite the quite big jump right there, go about almost halfway down the line. Florence didn't really bite. As you mentioned, Ralph, maybe the intentional walk as Whalen, who does have some speed. He's getting ready to gun off. I think he's just trying to throw everything off right here for the Rutgers defense. Now runners on the corners. Double play ball in effect for the Scarlet Knights. So you can allow some contact here, but you got to be able to keep it in play if you're Florence.
And Florence missing high with the breaking ball. Well, in the top of the first, Rutgers assistant coach Brendan Monahan went out to talk after a 1-0 count to Matt Ellis after Florence had walked the first 2. He had settled down since. 2-0. Pine had struck out swinging in the first. And challenged at the 2-0 and pops it up on the infield playable. Kuroda Grauer squeezes it for the second out.
Big second out right there for the Scarlet Knights. And now you can go to first, you can go to second, so you have options now for this final out here. See what Florence can do. As you mentioned before, Ralph, I'm glad you did, about him settling down after the mound visit. He really did settle down. Was it through 2 innings? 6 of those out of those 6 outs, 5 of them were strikeouts. So he was definitely finding his stuff, finding his groove, getting back into the zone here, and facing a little bit of adversity right here in the 3rd inning. None to worry. You got 2 outs, and again, runners in the corner, so you're not out of the jam quite yet. But he's again, that's the veteran presence right there for Florence, knowing that he knows the situation. He struck out Jesse in the 1st inning as well, so knows where he wants to go.
Swing and a miss there at the changeup. And Florence, in 2019, he missed the entire season due to injury. So anybody in baseball or a spring sport athlete that missed all of that year, then it's compounded because of the pandemic. Florence started 3 games in 2020 to start the year and was pitching okay. Loses the rest of that. That's pitch off the plate. Comes back to Hartford last year, makes 9 starts, goes 3-3 in the America East with a 4.76 ERA. And Hartford during that time, just ahead of the 2021 season, announces they're going to drop down to Division III soon. And he's about to graduate. Funding is cut from the program, so he decides to go be a graduate transfer and spend the 6th year in college and pursue that dream of pro ball.
Quite the team to latch onto for your graduate year of college, isn't it?
And on 2-1, and Simillo hoping to frame it and did not get the call.
Look at that. Maybe just a little bit low. Simillo did a good job not really moving his body as well. Tried to frame that quite nice, but it's like it just missed on the low part of the strike zone.
And 3-1 fouled off the mask there of Simillo. I was talking the other day after the game to Brendan Monahan, who was an All Big East catcher at St. John's and now the recruiting coordinator and assistant coach under Steve Owens. How when you factor in Simillo hitting .419 to lead the nation, primarily playing catcher, just how difficult that is, even at the major league level. The wear and tear, as Brendan Monahan was nodding his head to me, you just don't appreciate. There are days where you just don't feel well. It's just not your body's day physically. Pitch taken low on 3-2, and Jesse works out the walk, and Indiana's loaded the bases in the 3rd.
Big situation right here for the Hoosiers at the moment. Adversity for the Scarlet Knights, and just going back to Simillo, you mentioned the wear and tear on his body, catching, being the primary catcher for the Scarlet Knights this year, and not really having many days off this season, and be able to rake like that in the lineup, and that's just absolutely tremendous. And
the first pitch strike from Florence after the visit from Simillo. Matheson rated the number 7 prospect in Indiana coming out of high school, number 2 outfielder by perfect game. Led the state of Indiana with 16 home runs in the 2021 spring season. Fort Wayne is in northeast Indiana, as Matheson takes a nice changeup, 0-2. Indiana's loaded the bases. A leadoff double, followed up by a couple of walks. And Florence hoping to see Matheson chase. He would not.
It's the second time Indiana's really threatened offensively. Biggest moment of this young game so far. First third of it, at least.
Florence has thrown 65 pitches. And 1-2 swung on and missed. Nathan Florence, again, the veteran, 6th-year senior. 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, walked 1 for Indiana. And a called strike here to Mike Neisturn, leading it off. And we touched on Perkins and how highly regarded he was coming out of high school. As this is a breaking ball lifted in the air, down the right field line, and that will be foul, with the right fielder Hunter Jesse shaded way over to right center against the righty hitting Neisturn. Perkins, coming out of high school, chose Louisville over a who's who of teams: Kentucky, Mississippi State, Texas, Oklahoma State, and then Indiana was kind of in his final 6. So they were right there. And then when it came to transfer with what Louisville was bringing in, Dan McDonnell has created a monster program in Louisville over the last 15 years. Line drive, rather, this one through the right side. That's a base hit past Doanes. Doanes knocked it down a bit, but it's a leadoff single for Mike Neisturn. 7 homers, 27 driven in. We'll see if he gets the green light. And the pitch swung on and missed. And for Lasko, yesterday he came to the plate and delivered his 7th home run of the season to tie the game.
Definitely what Rutgers needed at the right time. Of course, yesterday just full of highlights. Defensively, offensively, Lasko seems to always be in the middle of them as well.
And Lasko takes a called strike, 0-2.
I like to call him one of the spark plugs of this Rutgers lineup for sure.
Now, he's a first-team All-Big Ten spark plug, the way the sophomore from Jackson, New Jersey has been playing. At the top of the nation's #1 offense in terms of, it's number 4 in terms of batting average as he swings and misses. Strike 3. So Perkins came right after him with the fastball and collects. And to say the least, here's Evan Slight taking a breaking ball strike. Indiana, as a staff, is 13th they're dead last with Wisconsin not having a baseball team. But they are dead last in the Big Ten in staff ERA at 7.12. As this one ties up Slight. And they're very young in the bullpen, so that compounds matters. They've gone to Grant Holderfield often, 16 relief appearances. Braden Tucker would be considered to be the closer. Ryan Kraft is young, Luke Hayden as well. So a lot of underclassmen in the bullpen. And an 0-2 inside, and it hit Slight. And I was just about to say that IU, in a head scratcher, they have now hit 66 batters. And Samillo, who is renowned for the adjustments he makes in-game, struck out swinging in the first against Perkins. First and second, 1 out. Takes off the plate.
It was one of those pitches he bid on in that first inning right there, so a good job by him to lay off.
Last summer in the NECBL, Nick hit .429 in 14 games in Summer League, and he has built off of that here into the spring. As that's taken low, 2-0, and now he's en route to being the 2nd All-American in his family. Dad, Billy Samillo, played football at St. John's. Now in the St. John's Athletics Hall of Fame, he was a 1983 honorable mention All-American safety at a North Rockland High School. 3-0 to Samillo.
Good job by him to lay off all 3 of these pitches right now, and I've noticed it looks like he actually is crowding the plate just a little bit more than he usually does. I mean, he is up close and personal right now on the edge of that batter's box. Definitely shrinking the strike zone for Perkins.
And on 3-0, that misses high. And Perkins perhaps did not want anything to do with Samillo. Loads the bases with 1 out for Tony Santamaria. And Santamaria swings and misses. The ball getting away briefly from Ellis. But he gets on it with no advance.
Yeah, not much of a scramble right there for that baseball to bring in a runner home. Neisturn, of course, thought about coming home, getting that first run of the afternoon, but wisely laid off, stayed at third.
1. And Perkins, a good pitch. I think that was a two-seamer low and away, 0-2.
It's a good job by Perkins to get ahead in this count. 1 strike away from the second out of this third inning. Of course, in the jam right now, bases loaded. You don't want to throw a lame duck out there for Santa Maria, because he will tee off and hit one into the gap.
Perkins on 0-2, and Santa Maria lays off the high fastball. And Perkins challenges him with a fastball, 2-2.
Battling back a little bit. Santa Maria trying to find contact, of course. There's only 1 out. Even a long fly ball can get that first run across.
And this ball, ground ball, might be 2. Doanes to second, 1. Glasser to first, not in time. Rutgers scores. It's 1-0 as Santa Maria beats out a ball that wasn't hit that hard, but it was right at Doanes. Entered today second of the team, having his best season. 355, 4 homers, 34 driven in. And the fifth-year senior from Staten Island takes off the plate. Steve Owens has said our strength is we have a lot of different type of hitters. Power all through the lineup. And DeGiorgio personifies that as he takes the slider low. The bench can hurt you. An excellent on-base percentage. And over the course of this 13-game winning streak, Rutgers has shown, particularly against weak pitching, they have battered it. Swung on it, hit in the air, well hit to left field. Matheson going back and makes the catch. Oohs and ahs here at Bainton Field. DeGiorgio left that a few yards shy of a 3-run shot. But Rutgers grabs the lead. A run on 1 hit, they leave 2. 3 innings complete in Piscataway. 1-0 Rutgers. Tibbetts a sharp single through the left side, his first time up. One of 2 IU hits today as he takes strike 1.
We'll see how Florence deals now with a lead, albeit a small lead here for the Scarlet Knights. He's obviously settled in today, 6 strikeouts out of the 9 outs today. After that rough, we can call it a bit of a rough first inning. 2 walks to lead things off, but he's able to settle down on this Indiana lineup, which has the potential, of course, to put a lot of guys across. We saw the bases loaded situation last inning, able to get out of that jam.
And 1-2 ground ball rolled over the third. Santa Maria and the first out of the 4th. So Florence, he has thrown now 70 pitches here into the 4th, and the Scarlet Knights yesterday got
Number 7, Ethan.
some good work out of their bullpen yesterday. They did play Tuesday and Wednesday against Lafayette and Penn, but for Steve Owens, I'm sure he's got Dale Stanovich available. Stanovich only threw 10 pitches yesterday, his closer. So that is plus number 1 for Rutgers. Again, it's so early in the game, but in terms of lining up the bullpen, as Ethan Facrumba struck out swinging in the first, takes ball 1.
Yeah, the ideal situation now for Florence is to basically go through this 4th inning unscathed, see if you can keep that pitch count down. So ideally, if you're Steve Owens, you want to get Florence out there for another 5-inning start like he had against Nebraska just last week. You get at least 5 innings out of him, you can line up your bullpen pretty much exactly how you want it. You mentioned Stanovich being available after only throwing 10 yesterday. In a close game like this, if it remains like this, or say Rutgers is only up by 2 or they're down by 1, you want Stanovich in that situation in the 9th inning.
And Facrumba chases after a nice changeup, 2-2. Facrumba, one of the holdovers for this Indiana team. They're in the midst of a long road swing. Rutgers in the midst of a long home swing. They're playing 10 out of 11 here at Bainton Field. And the count goes full 3-2 with 1 out. And the weather has complied. It was beautiful yesterday, same today. Close to no wind. And a swing and a miss. 7 strikeouts for Florence, 2 away in the 4th.
Yeah, he's starting to really be in his groove right now.
Now batting, the second
2
baseman,
quick outs in this
number
inning.
5,
Again,
Tyler
keeping that pitch count down. Want to try to set yourself up for an efficient 5th inning as well.
So 7 strikeouts already matches his 2nd most in a start this season as Tyler Doanes steps in. Florence in early season, February, against North Carolina Wilmington. Solid program. He won the game 2-0. He had 9 strikeouts against the Seahawks as he deals strike 1 to Doanes. That pitch off the plate. I get the sense from watching Nathan Florence in his body language. He is a guy that could sit on a flight that's got a little bit of turbulence and not be bothered.
I don't think so, as we saw the adversity back in that 1st inning with the 2 guys on, then of course the bases loaded jam. He doesn't really shake on the mound up there.
This ball lifted in the air to right field. Mike Niceter to his left, puts it away, and the first 1-2-3 inning with his teammate Tony Santamaria with 40 RBI in the Big Ten. He grounds one over to first. Brock Tibbetts will flip over to Jack Perkins. And Tibbetts still learning that position.
Play by him, but again, it just goes to show you that Rutgers, despite the power route, they have tremendous speed, even from guys that you wouldn't think are the speedsters within this lineup 1 through 9.
Kuroda Grauer singled to right in the 9th, in the 2nd. Breaking ball off the plate. Josh, the lone freshman that is seeing substantial playing time in the lineup. But Steve Owens paid him the ultimate compliment that he plays like a 21-year-old. The way that he shows up to practice every day. Line shot over short. That'll be a base hit. Cutting it off is Bobby Whalen. Kuroda Grauer makes the turn and will hold up there. He's 2 for 2 with a 1-out single.
That is.
Garrett Callahan takes inside on the hands the fastball strike. And this ball will be fouled off. Callahan kind of half trying to duck out of the way of it and perhaps try to hold up his swing and ended up fouling it off.
Yeah, unfortunately, that call looked like the middle of the bat right there. And, of course, ruled out a foul ball. Already down 0-2. But Kuroda Grauer has some speed as well. Only 2 stolen bases this year, but not afraid to make a jump.
This one also similar in on the hands. And Perkins now with 59 pitches here as he throws into the 4th. You would love to get 6 innings out of him and give their bullpen a break.
Yeah, at least with the pitch count, he's on pace for that. And we know just from not the worries from the Indiana dugout, but their preference, of course, as you mentioned, is Ralph, see if you can get Perkins up to that 6-inning limit right there, then see if your bullpen can hang it, hold it down for the last 3 innings of this ball game, keep it limited. I mean, Perkins has pitched pretty well today. Again, all things considered, 3 hits, 1 run.
And a 1-2 popped up. The third baseman, Pine, makes the catch.
Good job again.
As Perkins misses inside. Jeff Mercer coming in. A part of, I'll account for Indiana's very high ERA of over 7 as a staff. They have played a whopping 4 Sunday doubleheaders. Inside it hit Neister. It hit him on the right elbow. He'll take first base. So
there you go. See what Ryan Lasko can do.
As Lasko checks his swing and looks at the fastball for ball one. A hit by pitch and a walk set up Rutgers to score their lone run in the third against Perkins. Lasko has struck out twice. And there's a great breaking ball from Perkins.
That's that breaking ball you mentioned before earlier in this game where we haven't seen it as much today. He's been trying to throw those fastballs, those two-seamers, those the pitches with the slight breaks, but that time that was a nice arcing curveball right there.
And Lasko fouls it off. Two and two to Lasko. The Rutgers offense, after yesterday's 5 runs they were held to, dipped down to 9.6 runs a game, which is 7th in the country, still leads the Big Ten. Purdue is the other slugging team in the conference. Purdue led by Cam Thompson, who's got 45 RBI at this juncture of the season. Just some of those incredible numbers. And a 2-2 changeup swung on and missed. Lasko struck out for the 3rd time today. Significant for Jack Perkins. He's got 4 strikeouts, 4 innings complete. It remains 1-0 Scarlet Knights. Of an outing it's been for Florence ever since the 3rd batter. As he starts off Bobby Whalen, the leadoff batter, with a called strike, 0-1. Whalen has walked and doubled to center. And this is a line drive right field, base hit. And Whalen has been on base all 3 times today for IU.
Yeah, his last time up back in the 3rd inning, he stretched out to that double, and he got all the way to 3rd. So he has definitely been a scoring threat today. Not slowing down anytime soon. I was going to say before, with the pitch count up for Florence now up at 84 pitches as he works here at the start of the 5th inning. It's probably the last we see of Florence today. See if Rutgers can hope to get him through the 5th inning. 5 solid innings of work. And in their mind, best case scenarios of shutout baseball.
First pitch to Philip Glasser is ball 1. Glasser, a 3-year starter at Youngstown State, transferring here to Indiana. Preseason All Big Ten honors after being 2nd team All Horizon League last year. Both he and Doanes, in other stops, they lived on base. And a line drive hit the other way, down the left field line, foul. Well, Slight was shaded well over to left center, and that landed foul by a good 5 yards.
That's a lucky break right there for the Scarlet Knights, because if that just hugs the line right there, oh man, we're talking extra bases. We're talking Whalen might be able to come all the way around and score.
Yeah, I'll say, you know what? That's probably just 1.5 yards only. That was right there for Glasser, who has walked and flown out to center.
Nice piece of opposite field hitting for Glasser. Nearly, of course. Just missed it.
Florence misses low. Indiana has worked 4 walks today, and they are 2nd in the Big Ten in that department, 22nd in the country. So what Florence had, that's what Indiana has done. And, of course, a young coach, Jeff Mercer, is so analytical His on-base percentage as a team is .382 as that's fouled off. And he went out and recruited guys like that, along with his staff. Derek Simmons, along the coaching box at third. They recruited Glasser and Doanes. And the thing that jumps out at me is the on-base percentage and what they hope will translate well to the Big Ten. Certainly in the case of Doanes, playing in the Big 12, that's basically a lateral move from a power conference one to another.
Yeah, they've been very patient at the plate today, despite the 7 strikeouts, as you mentioned before, the 4 walks so far today, drawing off Florence.
Be a 2-2 pitch coming with Matt Ellis waiting on deck.
Interesting part of the lineup now. I mean, Glasser is batting over 300, but they've been raving about what Matthew Ellis has been able to do this season for the Hoosiers. Of course, leading the team in home runs. And he would be in a nice little spot for the Hoosiers coming up next, if he still has some guys on base.
On a 2-2 to Glasser, ground ball right side, base hit through the hole. Holding up at second, Bobby Whalen, and the first 2 are on for Indiana.
Now at this point for the Scarlet Knights, you still want to maybe try to force a double play. But again, got to be careful with Ellis. Leading the team in home runs. Batting .306 with runners in scoring position. Dangerous hitter right here as we're getting right into the heart of the lineup for Indiana.
Ellis walked his last term up. And the first pitch as Florence starts him off with strike 1.
Another opportunity for Florence to battle back from adversity. We've seen it a couple times today. This is really the 3rd time this afternoon where he's had a situation similar to this. A couple runners on. Nothing doing really in this inning so far. Let's see if he can battle back again. Keep this a 1-run Rutgers lead.
And on 0-1, and Florence took a little off, left it up in the zone, and Ellis now down to the count, 0-2. Ellis last year at Walter State Junior College, 49 walks. Again, an impressive on-base percentage here at the Division I level. Similar, 24 walks in 32 games coming in, along with the 12 homers, 36 RBI. And an 0-2 ground ball through the other way, a base hit. Rounding third and coming in to score is Whalen. The throw will be cut off, and Indiana has tied the game at 1. An opposite field single in the hole by Matt Ellis. And the Hoosiers have leveled things at 1.
Yeah, it's just been timely hitting right now for the Hoosiers. 3 straight base hits, all on the ground. They don't have to be loud, just got to put that ball in play, and Indiana has done that the last 3 batters. They finally get a run across the board as we near the halfway point of this ball game. And basically it's a whole new ball game, and I believe that might be it now for Florence. Have to get up to 3 straight hits.
Trusted relievers for weekend play for Steve Owens. French deals low. Been a long path to this point for Garrett French. He is officially 4 years out of high school, 2 years missed due to injuries, and this has been by far his best season. And a breaking ball in there for a strike to Josh Pine, 1-1.
Well, French is in here to stop the bleeding for the Scarlet Knights, of course, and you got to wonder how long Steve Owens would ideally like to keep French in there. He's got the ability to go a few innings if necessary.
And a check on its second with Kuroda Grauer covering, and that's the lead runner, Phil Glasser. First and second, nobody out. French has been stretched out this year despite not having pitched for 2 years. But in 2019, as a true freshman, 22 games, 21 of them out of relief. But 2 years to build himself back up, and this has been perhaps his best season. 1-1. This one lifted in the air, down the left field line, long run, Santa Maria. DeGiorgio dives, and he made the catch. Dan DeGiorgio taking perhaps a run away from IU. More sensational defense from the Scarlet Knights.
Any chance SportsCenter top 10 for the second day in a row? My goodness, and DeGiorgio coming all the way from short. Look at this slide right here, too. It's the dive, slid right across the turf. I thought the ball actually came out for a second, but it was just a piece of equipment. That is tremendous stuff from DeGiorgio. First out, I mean, it's only the first out of the inning, but it's a loud one, and certainly that could give some juice back to that Rutgers defense and of course, the dugout.
Well, for Rutgers, it's been multiple players that have had sensational defense recently. Hunter Jesse now. And he takes a slider that tails outside. Jesse's walked and struck out swinging.
Goodness, I'm still buzzing from that catch.
And it wasn't just a dive, but it was the range that DeGiorgio and the territory he had to cover in order to make that play be possible.
Yeah, but you saw Santa Maria, who's been one of the better defenders in the country at this point, at third base, running basically backwards for it. Slight had to come in as well. DeGiorgio able to track that the entire way, and he said, "Move over, everybody. I got it."
And French misses outside. It's ball 3. French has been stretched out earlier this season through 3 innings at Penn State, allowing a run. And he got a 9-out save against Minnesota, part of a doubleheader 2 weeks ago, April 2nd. And he had to come back with a down-the-middle fastball, 3-1. So Hunter Jesse has walked and struck out swinging. Indiana's tied the game with 3 straight singles against Rutgers starter Nathan Florence before knocking him out.
It's basically a whole new ball game since Indiana tied things up. Obviously, more of a high-pressure situation for French.
And he misses high with the fastball. So Jesse works out the walk. 5th time a Hoosiers batter has been walked. So now the bases are loaded for IU. And here's Carter Matheson.
The left fielder, number 3.
Matheson
Carter
struck out twice
Matheson.
against Florence. And the freshman left fielder here with an opportunity. Matheson at 245 coming in with power, though. 7 home runs, 23 driven in.
Interesting to see how French places his pitches now with these bases loaded.
And this one inside and blocked by Samillo.
So Samillo got banged up a little bit, stopping that ball and then searching for it. I wonder if he just fell weird. Got up a little gingerly, but it seems to be okay.
Glasser's at third. Ellis at second. Hunter Jesse at first for Indiana. And French falls behind. And the 2-0 pitch is hammered to right, making the catch. Nicerter coming in. Runner tags up and will slide in safely. Glasser is able to score on a sacrifice fly and an RBI. The hard line drive to right by Carter Matheson. And Indiana grabs the lead. It's 2-1 in the fifth.
Indiana's been able to battle back. Small ball just chipping away at the Rutgers pitching staff here in this fifth inning.
First baseman.
It's not the worst thing in the world if you're the Scarlet Knights right there to give up just the one run, but you still have one more out to go. Could have been a lot worse. That's a nice heads-up play there by Nicer to charge in on that ball, able to make the catch, throw it back in, limit other guys from advancing as well.
Brock Tibbetts 1 for 2. And this is a little number in front of the mound. French makes the play on the comebacker. Bottom of the eighth before a series of miscues. And Rutgers capitalized, ended up winning yesterday's game 1, 5-3. Evan Slight takes a fastball strike from Jack Perkins. Perkins has thrown 71 pitches. He's allowed 3 hits, walked just 2. He's also hit 2 batters.
Rutgers certainly knows how to battle back, as they did yesterday. They've done a couple times this season. I mean, usually, Ralph, we're talking about, my goodness, Scarlet has to put up 6 runs in a matter of 3 innings, and then they're going to be cruising towards the end of this ball game. But a little bit more adversity today.
This is a ground ball. Easy hop for Tyler Doanes. And there's one gone in the fifth.
Yeah, I mean, Perkins really hasn't struggled mightily today with his command. Maybe aside from right there is that one. Smell just wow, I can't believe he got out of the way of that ball. My goodness, I could have sworn it might have skimmed his helmet, maybe caught the bat a little bit. Whew. Look out. That's what they call the broadcaster's jinx.
Yeah, that was off the glove of Matt Ellis behind the plate, but Samilla was hit in the helmet on Tuesday against Lafayette. Stayed in the game. Ended up having a big day, and then started the next day against UPenn and went 2 for 5. And there's another good look at that by our crew.
Samilla is as tough as they come in this Rutgers lineup. Just going back to what I was saying before about Perkins, the command has been there, and he's had the velocity on his pitches, and he's finally been able to mix in some of those breaking balls we saw in the bottom of the fourth as well. He's been able to settle in.
This ball lifted in the air to center field. Playable for Bobby Whalen. And Samillo is retired. 2 outs and nobody on for Tony Santamaria. Mudunyo did that. He's from Upple Saddle River, New Jersey, up in Bergen County. And he gave Indiana 4 good innings yesterday of 2 hits, no run baseball. Santamaria takes a strike. And IU has been waiting for this after seeing especially their bullpen get taxed recently. Last weekend, they lost 2 out of 3 to Purdue. The games that they lost, 17-0 and 16-15. And a breaking ball in there, Santamaria, and that was indeed a strike. 1-2.
That was a good pitch right there from Perkins. Starts on the outside, veered right back down the middle. Santamaria had really no choice, got a little bit jammed on the inside. Ideally, the Hoosiers would love Perkins to get out of here unscathed and then come back out for the 6th inning. As we mentioned before, giving that bullpen a rest.
And a breaking ball, and Perkins was on his way to the dugout. He's battled a little bit today, but he's not given up the big inning. Jack talked about consistency was what he was missing in his time at Louisville on such a deep pitching staff. The pitch is on the inside corner of strike 3 called. The breaking ball on the inner part of the plate, and Santamaria was veering out of the way. He is punched out. Rutgers is retired for the first time today in order. 5 innings complete. Jack Perkins and the Hoosiers with a 2-1 lead. Lefty hitter, he will pinch hit for the DH and Ethan Facrumba, who was 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts against Nathan Florence. And Garrett French starts him off with a breaking ball strike. Tucker Shank, 2 for 5. This is just his 6th game played. He has not started any. A pinch hitter deluxe in what is a deep mix in the outfield for Indiana. That Coach Jeff Mercer has mixed and matched all season. So this is Shank batting, as it's 2 balls and a strike against the pinch hitter. French came on and got the final 3 outs in the 5th inning, including a super defensive play from his shortstop Danny DiGiorgio down the left field line that prevented a big inning. Indiana scored twice, and here is Shank pinch hitting. And a 2-2 comebacker over the mound. Big hop for DiGiorgio. Gathers, throws, and there's 1 out in the 6th.
Good play by DiGiorgio right there to go track down that ball up the middle of the infield. Fielded on the hop with the glove, fired over. I mean, that play, it's got to be routine after the play we saw him make it the outfield last inning as well.
And the thing you notice from a 5th-year senior like DiGiorgio there, Nick, is just like we saw with the batter here, Tyler Doanes, that there's just no panic being made with these veteran Big Ten players out there. 4th-year seniors, 5th-year players, 22 years of age, at times older. Nathan Florence, for example, 6th-year senior. It truly shows itself when you watch the routine things.
Right, they don't overthink things, especially on their basic assignments. And again, you could dumb baseball down to, all right, you see ball, you pick up the ball, and you throw it on the first base for that first out.
This ball lifted in the air, shallow center field coming in. Lasco, and he makes the running catch. That was just athleticism, straight line speed from Ryan Lasco. 2 outs.
Yeah, it's even plays like that, and we know Lasco's not one of the veterans on this team, but only being a sophomore, but he's been around the program for a little bit now. He's well known throughout the fan base as well, and those guys in the dugout. So when you combine all these factors together, you mentioned there's no panic in the veteran guys. There's really no panic on any of these guys on this Rutgers defense when they're out there in the field. As we mentioned before a couple times, how Steve Owens has preached and preached and preached about how good his defense is this season, how they've improved throughout the entire year, and they're just making play after play. And even a play like that for Lasco, where it may seem routine, that's a very difficult play. He's a little bit deeper in center field than maybe he normally would be, and that's a full-on sprint. You judge the fly ball, maybe take it 1 step back, and all of a sudden, dead sprint straight ahead. It's a good play.
Line drive left field, falling fast, and the sliding grab made by Slight. Boy, Rutgers defense has shown up in a big way this weekend. This one snared by Slight. Perkins just in the last 2 innings or so, Nick, I think he's shown and featured his breaking ball a little bit more. 2nd and now 3rd time through the order as Danny DiGiorgio takes a ball away. Danny is 0 for 2. Twice preseason, all Big Ten. And he has been healthy. That's been the most important thing, as he fouls one straight back, 1-1.
He's made some nice plays defensively so far, DiGiorgio has, but bat has yet to wake up this afternoon, 0 for 2. Rutgers is hitting 3 of 18 overall today as well.
As Perkins has a 4-seamer that tails too far inside, 2-1. And a breaking ball in there, 2-2. Perkins has thrown 5 separate appearances where he's gone 6+ innings this year, including against Xavier at the Big East. Solid program, then in the Big Ten, Northwestern, and Purdue.
He's up at 88 pitches now after that one in the dirt to DiGiorgio. Working on a full count now, so could be the last appearance, or excuse me, the last inning for Perkins. But he's been dealing. I mean, if you're Indiana, you can go into the top of the 7th inning with this 2-1 lead. You're in business.
Outside ball 4, so DiGiorgio works out a leadoff walk. Sunday before that, 9-2 over Minnesota. They've been right there. They've really battered kind of back-end Big Ten pitching, particularly in bullpens. This is a slow topper to short. Charging Glasser, and he picks up the out. Advancing to second is DiGiorgio. And of course, Rutgers earlier this week battered Lafayette, a season-high 23 runs. And first pitch swinging, this is a line drive, just foul. And Rutgers on Tuesday had a remarkable thing that's going to be hard to look up in the Rutgers record books. But Rutgers was walked 17 times by Lafayette pitching in an 8-inning game for the offense.
That's amazing. The fact that they had 17 walks, yet they still scored more runs than they had walks in that game.
It's just anomalies that are so hard to do. Corona Grauer takes a fastball right down the middle, and he was looking for something else. 0-2.
He's had a knack for the baseball so far this afternoon. 2 singles in the 2nd and 4th innings. We saw on that first pitch of this at bat, rope one down the third base line. Of course, just foul in the outfield. But he's been able to dial up Perkins a little bit so far.
And on 0-2, and Perkins perhaps overthrowing there, a ball and 2 strikes. DiGiorgio from second. And we have a pitch clock warning. Our third base umpire writing that down. He's the one that keeps track of it. Newly instituted rule for the Big Ten to keep pace of play going, and it is a 2-2 pitch coming, and it is a warning for now. Or actually it is a ball added. So now the 2-2 fouled straight back. I thought it was on the second, Nick, that you get a ball added.
I believe that was the second pitch clock warning.
So it must have been one earlier because the third base umpire noted it and wrote it down.
I don't blame Perkins for trying to milk that clock out in the outfield, but.
And a changeup swung on and missed, and Corona Grauer down on strikes.
Well, there you go. he'll take the warning if he can get the strikeout right there and finally sit down Corona Grauer now with 2 outs in this inning.
Gives one of his sluggers a look. And Perkins starts him off with a good breaking ball strike.
Definitely an opportunity here for the young slugger, Jordan Sweeney. Runner on. Sophomore's batting .273 with 2 outs and .256 with runners in scoring position.
And there's a little changeup, and Sweeney well out ahead of it. Now Jordan goes 6'5", 230.
He's definitely chomping at the bit right now after that big swing. Now down 0-2.
And a fastball a little bit away, and Perkins. Let's see if Perkins just kind of lost his balance at the end of that. And his plant foot, and time is going to be called in before another pitch is thrown. Here comes head coach Jeff Mercer, and so Jeff Mercer and pitching coach Dustin Glant satisfied and both back in the IU dugout. And this ball lined right at the first baseman Tibbetts, who did not have to move. So Perkins avoids a run coming across, and interviewed Bob Mulcahy on several occasions. He's in the Rutgers Hall of Fame, and certainly well-deserved for all the strides and advances that he helped Rutgers athletics make, and eventually leading into Rutgers joining the Big Ten. And that's, of course, making days like this possible, as Philip Glasser is down in an 0-2 count.
Yeah, he was definitely integral to the growth of Rutgers athletics for so long, one of the biggest figureheads to come out of this university from the athletic department. You know, spearheading that effort, as you just mentioned, to join the Big Ten. And since then, it's been a growing and learning process for Rutgers athletics within this conference.
Yeah, when he took over in '98, Rutgers was still just about a decade plus into the Big East from the Atlantic 10. So that took a process, and then what do you know, about 5 years later, about 6 years later, Rutgers would join the Big Ten after a brief stop over in the American Athletic Conference from the Big East. And just remarkable, thinking back, that he hired Greg Schiano as his head football coach at the age of 34, the youngest FBS coach at that time. 1-2 pitch, and a half swing, and Glasser just got a piece of it to stay alive here leading off the 7th.
Taking a look at that. Yep, just a piece of it. Smell could not hang on to it. Dribbled right in front of his foot. Just going back to Mulcahy, Ralph, I mean, you mentioned the Schiano hire.
Swing and a miss. Glasser down on strikes. One gone. Matt Ellis tied the game with a sharp single through the left side his last time up in the 5th. And certainly a domino effect of what Bob Mulcahy accomplished for all sports, not just football, but all the little renovations that occur in the fundraising that is so significant. Just in recent time here with Rutgers baseball, the opening of the Fred Hill Training Complex. Swing and a miss by Ellis, 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, everyone who knows the New Brunswick campus up here, or the New Brunswick / Piscataway campus up here, that everyone knows the Livingston campus up here is, look ahead, what is formerly known as the RAC, now Jersey Mike's Arena, across the way. If you look out into left center field from our vantage point, and of course, next to that, Fred Hill Training Complex, and then the new APC as well, which, you talk about renovations. I mean, all of a sudden, everyone was training inside Jersey Mike's Arena. Now everyone's got their own facility. It's just a massive growth, particularly since they joined the Big Ten.
On 1-2, the changeup gets Ellis. Took consecutive strikeouts here for Garrett French. 2 gone at the top of the 7th.
And French dealing right now here in this 7th inning. Back-to-back strikeouts. That's what you want to see. Of course, in a game where you're trailing right now, keep it where it's at right now. Try to get one more through here. And then you get the crunch time here for the Rutgers offense.
Speaking of the Fred Hill Training Complex, I had my first look inside it. Line shot foul. During the year, it's just, of course, just never open, or I'm never here. And I had a chance to poke my head in, and just, the wow factor of, first thing you see is just a beautiful facility it is. And then number 2, you think about the advantage it is, where you feel like if you're a player, you would just live there and just work on your game. And that's what facilities does. It's a game changer, and I think, yes, every athlete is going to work very hard regardless of what it is, but it just makes it easier to work hard when you can do so on weeknights in the winter and work in your game compared to other places, as Josh Pine takes a call strike.
Oh, without it. I mean, it's without a doubt. I mean, everyone knows the challenge of Northeast baseball, especially at the collegiate level, where you don't have that tremendous weather year-round like some of these teams do in the South, and of course somewhere out in the Midwest. But that complex certainly brings its advantages to work out in the winter, to work out in the fall, even the early spring sometimes, where you don't want to deal with the elements and you need a proper training session. You need to work on some, you need to fine-tune some things. Just head right inside. You got everything you need. Certainly helps Rutgers on the recruiting trail as well within the Big Ten. It's they like to call this, especially this conference, among others, it's an arms race with all the sports. Baseball certainly has caught up with that Fred Hill complex out past the left field picnic area.
And similar, Indiana has something similar where Jeff Mercer was saying to Josh Pine, a freshman back in the fall, that I don't know if you're going to hit third in the spring or redshirt. And he told him, you need to rent a cot and live in our facility. This is tapped to third, charging Santa Maria, not in time. Pine beats it out for an infield single. And the seventh.
That's a tough break for the Scarlet Knights right there.
Hunter Jesse takes inside.
Just overhearing some others behind us and throughout this press box, I mean, I think there's almost a universal agreement that I think people were leaning towards Pine being out at first.
French ball is behind Jesse, 2-0. Jesse is struck out and walked twice.
It's like Coach Monahan's going to come out of the dugout and get a visit going with French, try to settle him down here now with a 2-0 count.
He's always around the plate, so thus Brendan Monahan coming out. Now back in the dugout of the 2-0. This is off the glove of Samillo, and up to second base goes Pine. We'll see how that is scored, but it'll be a 3-ball count. And that's going to be, I think, a passed ball against Samillo.
Tough break right there for Samillo, unfortunately. Putting that runner into scoring position. Jesse's batting .364 this season with runners. Also .478 with 2 outs.
And there's ball 4. So French struggling during the at-bat after striking out Glasser and Ellis to lead off the inning.
Now
He worked a perfect 6th
left
inning.
fielder, number 3.
And here's Carter Matheson.
Matheson.
Another jam for Rutgers. Don't want to let this game get away from you. It's been a tight, nearly 16 innings of baseball dating back to yesterday.
Matheson with a sacrifice fly line drive out to right field his last time up. And he gave Indiana the lead. And the breaking ball for French, and he starts him off with strike 1. So French trying to find that release point in the 7th. Keep the game here. And the 0-1, and that's in there for a called strike. So that was the location that Matheson turns and has a word with our home plate umpire, Michael Sadowski.
Hey, he wasn't quite a fan of that one. Let's see if he went all the way around.
Yeah, I think it was the location rather than the swing. Sadowski did not point at the batter. That's location for the call.
I would say a solid call. That was right down in the zone right there, so Matheson really doesn't have much of an argument. That was a bit of I just noticed a sly look from Matheson over to the home plate umpire, Michael Sadowski, on that last pitch. It was well outside the zone, obviously a ball, but he gave him a little smug look. So, you know, there's always a little tension in the batter's box right there.
Mm-hmm. This one rolled over to the right side. The first baseman, Brito, will step in the bag, and the inning comes to an end. No run closer in Braden Tucker. So he is throwing in the bullpen beyond the right field line. And he's been throwing since the top of the 7th as Mike Neister takes low for ball 1.
Third plate appearance here for Neister this afternoon. Single back in the 3rd.
2-0.
One hit away from career hit number 200. So a little individual history on the line for Neister as well, but also to try to get this inning off to a good start for the Scarlet Knights, down by a run.
That's fouled off. And for Neister, he has just not been able to put together the long hot streak that he has been known for in his career. Steve Owens talks about how consistent he is in everything he does. He's not having a bad year. It's not the 350 caliber season that he was pushing last year, as it's 2 balls and 2 strikes here leading off the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, average dip down below 300 at 291 for the season. On-base percentage only at 373. I mean, I say only, it's still a solid on-base percentage for him, and still solid numbers across the board. But no home runs for him for this season. Only 14 ribbies, so production down a little bit, but still overall solid numbers.
A swing and a miss at the breaking ball out of the strike zone.
4th time now starting with the lineup. 4th time he's seeing Lasco, and he's 0 for 3 today.
And Lasco, not just 0 for 3, Nick, but he has struck out 3 times, and unusual for Ryan. And without doing the research, I would bet you he has not struck out 3 times in a game this year.
I can't remember the last time Lasco struck out more than once. Might have been yesterday.
Well, indeed, then the IU scouting report is better than my perspective.
I would say so.
1-1, and a fastball strike, 1-2. And now with 106 pitches, Perkins has now tied his season and career high. He threw 106 pitches last Friday against Purdue, as the 1-2 is fouled off.
I think it's because they won yesterday. I kind of put Lasco's 3 strikeout game yesterday out of my perspective, considering he homered yesterday.
Yeah, you just don't think of strikeouts when you imagine his game.
No, you don't. And the way he's been able to bat in the leadoff spot, and I think this is why the way he's played the last 2 days, they're keeping Perkins in there. Indiana it is.
And a check swing, and the Hoosiers dugout hooting and hollering. And Perkins, with kind of a smirk there, thought he had the punch out.
Close call right there. Let's take another look. It looked like he held back there enough, at least from that vantage point.
And a 2-2, a comebacker to Perkins. He will toss over the first, and Lasco is 0 for 4. So his 8.
Really stretching Perkins here, but I mean, with only 11 pitches thrown in this inning, you have quick 2 outs, nobody on base. You might as well give him a shot here. Haven't been too many loud outs or loud pops to the bat for these Scarlet Knights today. A couple of base hits, of course. Only 3, though. Perkins has done a nice job pitching today.
A check swing, and he went around. 1 ball and 1 strike. So this is pushing a career high in pitches thrown by Jack Perkins. And a 1-1 two-seamer that bends too far in. 2 balls and a strike.
He's 2 strikes away from getting a solid 7 innings of work in, and again, that's what Indiana preached today. Save the bullpen.
And he challenges Slight there, 2-2. Perkins taking the deep breath. In a lot of ways, he's gotten stronger as this afternoon has gone on. And a 2-2 fouled straight back by Slight.
Tucker's the only guy in the bullpen right now for Indiana, no other action. Gotta imagine he's in there for the long haul. Again, what Mercer has had preached today. Save the bullpen.
2-2 misses high, and he's gone full. Perkins last year limited with 11 appearances, 1 start at Louisville, was searching for that consistency. Chose Louisville over Indiana, among others, in the recruiting process. Loved his visit with Jeff Mercer and Dustin Glett, the new pitching coach. 3-2. And they'll do it again. And he's taken a substantial step forward today. And can he close out 7 innings?
118 pitches now.
And Slight continues the battle here.
They're really I can't say they're stretching him thin, but I would say Perkins is getting quite the workout today. Now about to throw pitch 120.
And again, and the changeups get slight swinging. 8 strikeouts for Jack Perkins and a career-high 7 innings pitched. He's back in the dugout. A big performance for Perkins and IU.
Keep right where it is.
And he immediately hits Tibbetts on the left hip on the first pitch. So he did not get the break that kind of that high 3/4 requires. Not a submariner, just a high 3/4. And the leadoff batter is on.
And not the best start. Again, you want to try to limit it, Indiana here. Keep this a 2-1 ball game. Offense has been quiet today for Rutgers. This deficit gets any bigger. I mean, you're talking about a tall task for the Scarlet Knights today for the usual explosive offense.
Tucker Shank, who came on as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning, squares the bunt and bunts it foul. So this is a left-hand batter. And there is the fastball thrown. Good pitch by Portnoy. His birthday was earlier in the week, right before the Lafayette game. That was on Tuesday. And this is a ground ball past the mound, might be 2. Corona ground flips the second for 1 on to first. Yes, a double play. Ball was not hit hard at all. And a quick turn, and especially the throw by DiGiorgio on the money, 2 outs.
That's got to be a big sigh of relief for the Scarlet Knights right there. Good job by Corona Grau to field that one near the chest. And, of course, DiGiorgio, we know the gun he has through that right arm, and he fired it over to first base. That's a huge double play for the Scarlet Knights, and it gives, like I said, it gives Portnoy that bit of a sigh of relief. You got 1 out to go here. Try to make this a clean inning.
First pitch to Tyler Doanes is taken low, so Portnoy gets to face a right-handed batter. And you notice the throw that DiGiorgio was able to get off while the ball, the flip, kind of handcuffed him just a touch. And he still adjusted, and it made it look easy.
Just goes to show you the arm strength he has and just his ability as a shortstop defensively. Seen a couple nice plays from him today. This is just the latest one. Got jammed, had to move over to his left and able to just throw that underhand. Fired on to first on a dart.
And Doanes takes a called strike 2. Now Doanes nodding his head. He's seeing a couple of good fastballs from Sam Portnoy. And what a factor he might be in this Rutgers bullpen moving forward. He's first of all the most different reliever Steve Owens has, as this ball is popped up. Camillo hoping for a look, but there will not be one.
Yeah, Portnoy's been able to deal so far. Again, the double play ball bailed him out a little bit, but at least with it in this at bat with Doanes, he's finding the right location. He's locating his fastball in the right spots as well. You know, take that hit batter out of this inning. He's been able to really find the strike zone here and deliver with the right velocity and break.
And Doanes golfs this ball to pretty deep left field, slight a long run, and it's foul. Home run distance for Tyler Doanes. And he'll go back to the batter's box.
That's what happens sometimes when you hit a ball like that off that little golf swing. Boy, that just curled foul. That could have been a big moment in this ball game. At least the way things are going today, Ralph, a 3-1 lead is just, it's not insurmountable, of course, but it's so much different than that 2-1 lead. With the way Rutgers will be able to or I would say lack of hits today.
And Portnoy just missed inside. Just did not get that last break to spot it. So Doanes stays alive. Rutgers had a 1-0 lead at the end of 3. And then Indiana scoring 2 runs in the top of the 5th inning to knock out Rutgers starter Nathan Florence. And this one chopped to third. Big hop for Santa Maria. Portnoy out of the dugout, got the big 4-6-3 double play to help. As Tucker misses away to Camillo. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. And he falls behind 2-0, throwing it to the backstop. And meanwhile, the book on Jack Perkins is closed and super. A career high 7 innings tossed, 3 hits, 1 run, 8 strikeouts, 3 walks for Perkins, throwing 120 pitches. High ball 3. So the extra day of rest absolutely benefiting Jack Perkins. And now Tucker trying to finish it for him. And Tucker has a called strike, and Camillo will have to go back and pick the bat up.
Bit of a premature stroll down to first base. I mean, I thought he had a case right there as well. Very close. But a nice little frame job right there from Ellis at the catcher spot.
As the count goes full.
Quite the stark difference right there. 3-0, you think you're taking a stroll down to first base. All of a sudden, full count here. Tucker on the verge of battling back and getting that first out of the inning.
And a 3-2 fouled off all season. The Hoosiers have been trying to find roles for their pitchers, losing all 3 starters from the weekend rotation last year to the MLB draft. Tommy Summer, Gabe Bierman, McCade Brown, and their closer Matt Lickwicki. Tucker has assumed 1 key role. And the 3-2 swung over the top and missed. That was Tony Santamaria, sophomore from the Atlantic City area, Absecon, New Jersey. Hit 286 last year at Iona, transferring in, and he's turned into an all Big Ten potential star here. 2-0 to Tony. Numbers at 325 coming in. And he has knocked in the lone Scarlet Knights run back in the 3rd on an RBI groundout. It's fouled straight back.
Rutgers doing a good job recruiting from the South Jersey area. Santa Maria, of course, from Absecon. Then you look at Sweeney, Jordan Sweeney we saw before. Egg Harbor Townships. They're Rutgers tapping into the South Jersey area, or region, I should say. Santa Maria's been a godsend, it seems like, over at third base.
Ground ball foul wide of 3rd. And like we talked off air, it's remarkable when you look at Camillo and Santa Maria. Very good players in the MAC, but that they have translated those numbers for the MAC to Big Ten play, and in a lot of cases exceeded them. Santa Maria last year started all 14 games that Iona played last year. They were decimated by the virus, where he hit 286. So he was a nice player in the MAC, and he'll be in contention for all Big Ten honors a year later.
Yeah, both guys have translated really well and just exceeded expectations, it seems like, at least in the stat sheet.
2-2 right down the middle, strike three looking. Santa Maria, I think, was expecting another breaking ball. Dan DiGiorgio as he takes off the plate. And Tucker pops the fastball 1-1.
Tucker is grooving right now.
And this ball, a ground ball through the opposite field and a base hit. So the tying run is aboard for the Scarlet Knights with 2 down in the 8th.
Only the
Chris Brito, slugging first baseman from Perth Amboy, New Jersey. And this first pitch, fastball high and tight.
duck out of the way of that one. Oof. Man, that's never fun. That's always the biggest worry. Those high and tight fastballs come upstairs.
And Tucker has missed badly on his first 2 fastballs here.
Georgia took a big lead before, and he had to take a few big strides back over to first base. That ball play might have was about to get away to the backstop.
Runner from first to Giorgio. And the 2-0 in on the hands of Brito chased. The Rutgers coaching staff noticing Brito struggling just a little bit in kind of February. And Kyle Petarudo, the Rutgers assistant coach, noticed a couple of small mechanical things with him at the end of March. And he's minimized his strikeouts since as he takes high 3-1. Also made the adjustment moving to third base from first base ahead of last year. And now with the addition of Santa Maria, he's primarily played first. And the 3-1 is fouled off.
That's certainly the ideal alignment for the Scarlet Knights here with the way Santa Maria's been able to play at third base this year on that hot corner. I've just seen a lot of highlight-worthy plays with Brito, knowing that what he does in the batter's box better suited for that first baseman position as well. And he's made the most of it so far this year. Very effective defending.
The runner goes to Giorgio with a pitch outside and low, ball 4. So the tying run is pushed to second base with 2 outs. With the tying run at second, Kuroda Grauer. And Tucker out of the stretch, high and tight again, ball 1.
Shake the cobwebs out of here real quick. Second time this inning.
And Tucker missing low.
Might have something brewing here. The Rutgers, 2 guys on, Kuroda Grauer being patient in the box. Letting Tucker get into a groove quite yet.
And it comes back to the strike, 2-1. Tucker joined the IU program in 2020, highly regarded. Made 4 appearances, all of them starts, picked up a couple of wins as Jeff Mercer put him right into the midweek or weekend rotation in non-conference before the pandemic. Started and picked up a win over LSU in the 3rd game of the series that year. And a swing and a miss of the fastball, and Kuroda Grauer could not catch up to it.
Big moment in this ball game. How late it is. Mentioned that Rutgers one of the bottom of the order at this point.
And on 2-2, well, Tucker staring in, expecting the punch out. It was in and out of the glove anyway of Ellis.
Close call. Oh man, that might have been it. If he doesn't drop that baseball, that might have been it right there.
And I think the framing could have influenced the call. And it'll be a 3-2 pitch coming to freshman Josh Kuroda-Grauer. DiGiorgio from second, Brito from first will be off with the pitch. Low and away, ball 4. So the bases are loaded for Rutgers. And it'll be Jordan Sweeney who came on to pinch hit in the 6th as the DH, and he'll get. And he starts him off with a strike on the outer edge.
Sweeney's average has dipped a little bit this season. Bit of a tougher stretch for him, only batting .276 this year, but no better time to turn around than now.
And this is a line drive, base hit to left center field. 1 run will score. Rounding third and coming in is Brito. He will score. Making the turn is Kuroda-Grauer. He will score. On his way to third is Sweeney with a bases clearing triple. And the Scarlet Knights have the lead in the 8th. It's now 4-2 Rutgers.
What timing by Jordan Sweeney. My goodness gracious. Perfectly timed swing. Hits one into the gap. Bases clearing triple for the Rutgers power hitter sophomore. Oh, that's got to feel great. Indiana was left chasing that one off to the warning track. A bobble on the track as well. And just like that, we mentioned before, Ralph, the ticking time bomb of this Rutgers offense.
Mike Neister with a runner on in third. 2 outs, takes a called strike. So back-to-back days where Rutgers has scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th. They've taken the lead here on Indiana again. And Neister takes up and away.
Definitely now a save situation for the Scarlet Knights bullpen. And that winning streak still alive now, thanks to good old Jordan Sweeney.
And Neister lifts this ball in the air to right. Hunter Jesse towards the line, makes the catch. The first career triple of Jordan Sweeney is clutch. A 2-out bases clearing triple. And at 6'5", 230, Sweeney at the D3 level. 2-way guy at that level. As this breaking ball is lifted in the air, shallow right center, backing up and now making the catch. Kuroda-Grauer, so that ball had enough tailspin on it. And Whalen was jammed a bit, 1 gone in the 9th.
You mentioned it, he's a do. I mean, we both mentioned that Gorski's a do-it-all guy. The fact that he plays second base, I mean, you just call that's an old-fashioned ball player right there. You don't really see too many guys like that anymore, especially at this level. You know, at this point, guys become specialized, of course. Sometimes you'll see it. You know, guys will play around the infield, but usually guys who can pitch and play the infield, you know, consistently. That's rare. Really rare to see these days.
Yeah, he had a super kind of half season in Division III as Phil Glasser takes a called strike. And of course, coming home during the pandemic, how many student athletes or regular students did we hear do that? Because you just didn't know. And Gorski decided to transfer to Rutgers and see if his numbers can translate, and indeed they did last year. And now he is in a position to be a short and close reliever in the Big Ten. And the 1-1 is bounced into turf, blocked by Samillo, 2-1.
I mentioned he's no stranger to closing out games. He closed out the win over UPenn just 3 days ago. That series finale against Minnesota earlier this month. Actually pitched a career high in innings with 4. Had 5 strikeouts that game as well, earning that win as Rutgers swept Minnesota. The That doubleheader a couple weekends ago.
2-1 to Glasser. That's low. So he's fallen behind 3-1. Phil Glasser's already walked and singled to right. He's 1 for 3. IU does have big power on deck with Matt Ellis. And the 3-1. There's a good fastball from Gorski, 3-2.
Better situation right here again. 1 out. Battle back here to this full count. Trying to sit Glasser down.
And the 3-2 rolled over to first. And that's a fair ball picked up by Brito. And Glasser is retired. And there's 2 outs in the ninth.
Good job by Brito to pick that one up as it dribbled down the line a little bit.
The catcher, number 35.
Almost thought it was actually it was going to roll foul for a second.
Ellis.
Brito heads up play. And just 1 to go here for Rutgers in another potential comeback victory after a magical 8th inning for the 2nd day in a row. See if Gorski can close it out, earn another save.
Matt Ellis takes a fastball, strike, 0-1. The Scarlet Knights played good defense in the early innings. Then Jack Perkins settled into a groove for Indiana, went a career-high 7. As Gorski has Ellis well out ahead of that, 0-2. Rutgers now with the longest active winning streak in the country coming in with 13 straight after Miami lost to Virginia Tech on Thursday. Then Gorski on 0-2. And Ellis taking a high. Nathan Florence started, but was only able to last 4+ innings. And Rutgers outlasting Perkins and got to the IU pen. The 1-2, up and away.
Getting antsy over here in Baton Field. There's just 1 strike away from one of the more epic victories for the Scarlet Knights this season.
And Gorski misses away with the breaking ball and upset with his kind of release point there. Freshman Josh Pine on deck. Gorski the payoff. And swung on and popped it up. It's playable. Chris Brito over for a look, makes the catch, and Rutgers comes from behind on Indiana again. The Scarlet Knights make it 14 wins in a row to extend their national best winning streak. And they've taken the first 2 games of the series against the Hoosiers, both in come-from-behind fashion. Today they close out Indiana with a 4-2 final.